Ted Jones messed with the wrong melon farmers.
Ted Jones, I also call him the eighth wonder of the real estate world.
Ted Jones, who knows, it could be...
Ted Jones?
The Ted Jones World Podcast.
Hello, Ted Joneser world people. Hello, fellow audience members of the Ted Jones World Podcast here on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. We are very happy to have you back here for the 6th episode. Welcome, Pat. Say welcome. Give them something warm. Give
Welcome.
them a warm hello.
It's so great to be here.
Very nice. Very nice. A lot going on in the world, as always. The past week, a lot of things going on. Pat and I actually text outside of this show, believe it or not, and we've got interesting things to talk about, and we're excited to share everything with you. And despite summer being over, it's actually still pretty hot out, I'd say. It's the type of weather where like you see the weather app in the morning and it's like 68, 69. You know what I mean? And then by the time it's afternoon, you're sweating, bro. It's a smooth 78, and it said it was gonna get up to 73. But that 5 degrees, I feel like between 73 and 78 makes a huge difference,
especially on the subway platform. It's
definitely,
still hot as hell down there.
Definitely very hot down there.
Yeah.
I try and take an Uber as much as possible, bro, but it's just not really affordable to be taking an Uber to anywhere, rather. I feel like as soon as you hop in New York City, it's immediately like $10. In like Miami or LA, it's actually super cheap.
Well, it's because of the new law where there was too many cars. There's too many Uber cars on the road, so they limit Uber how many cars they can have on the road.
Right. Well, that's because the taxi cab guys were complaining.
Yeah.
Which I understand that they were complaining, because these guys paid like $1 million for a medallion, and then the next month Uber came out. I've read so many of those stories. Hey, people paying an arm and a leg for these taxi medallions, and then Uber just came out and screwed their business.
That's capitalism, man.
Well,
deal with it.
I guess they kind of have to. Charmel. I had an improv show this past weekend. Pat, I didn't see you there. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't? I was there.
All right. Well, yeah, it was a dark room, so maybe you were there. I didn't see you.
I was in the back.
I'm sorry I didn't let you guys know. I feel like some people asked me why they weren't invited, why they weren't notified, but I put it up on my IG, dude. It was up on Ted Jones World. And I'm not really going to throw out personal invites just because like I'm doing it, I guess, kind of frequently every couple of weeks here and there. I'm taking a class. So, performances, definitely come around every so often, and just, keep putting my voice kind of crack right there, dude. Like bar mitzvah times, like when I was doing my Torah portion and my voice cracked like that. Oh, well, I'm talking about, I'm going off topic really quickly, but I just had an enormous Rosh Hashanah dinner. That's how it's
Baruch Hashem.
That's Baruch Hashem. That's how it's pronounced. Also, Rosh Hashanah. Do you know what that is, Charmel?
Like Rosh runs the sneaker.
It's the new year for us Jews.
Oh,
so
happy New Year!
It was a big day. Thank you.
Jews.
But what was that? What was I just talking about? How did I get there?
I don't know.
It was a bit off topic. That's for sure. Anyway, so I had an improv show and it went well, and I hope that you guys can come to a lot more of them in the future. Okay, so let's move forward here. I wanted to talk about the WeWork CEO. Now, the last time I had been talking about WeWork, we were talking about how they're ready to go public. They were like a $70 billion company, but this has been going downhill ever since I started talking about it, and was very interested to see what was going to happen with the public offering. And now the WeWork CEO has stepped down and the company is no longer going public. So WeWork, not really, much of an income producing company. So I feel like in terms of an IPO standpoint, some of these companies with no real value in terms of like cash flow are going to really start to have a tough time, just because it's tough to kind of put a number on something that isn't really generating figures that are in the billions of dollars, and especially like $70 billion. In Operation Varsity Blues, that's actually where parents have paid to see their children go to top Ivy League schools, and schools like Stanford, USC, Michigan, and Georgetown. Shermel, I'm not sure if you heard this, but the next person who actually this guy got sent to jail, he sent his son to Georgetown and paid $250,000, and he's going to jail for 4 months. And I had asked what you thought Aunt Becky was going to do, but she donated she gave $500,000 and was taking fake pictures for the freaking crew team. So if this guy's getting 4 months, I think I think Lori Loughlin 3.5 years. They're gonna make an example out of her. 3.5, husband 3.5 too.
Yeah. What charges are they brought up on? Like what? I mean, how technically how is it not on the school?
I think wire fraud, maybe bank fraud. I think a lot of charges of fraud.
Right.
I'm not too specifically sure about the charges, but I know that they are in trouble, man. It is it's a crazy situation. So I know we bring up a lot of topics on this podcast, but we try and be appropriate for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of cursing. If we do curse, very minor. Tend to keep it PG-13 here strictly. We want this to be the kind of podcast that you can listen to with your grandma in the car on a little road trip or a little trip cross town, maybe.
Yeah.
30-minute sessions usually, but just something light and fun, and everyone can really enjoy.
It's like Kanye's new album. No, he said no cursing on his new album. That who knows will ever be.
By the way,
released,
we were talking about this. That he was supposed to be released last week. So what's going on with that? You know the details?
Apparently, he had an impromptu that had a ton of merch all ready to go. So I don't know how impromptu it actually was, but like an album release or album listening thing. You know how he did the thing in Wyoming?
Right. And so he had everyone come to Wyoming.
Yeah. So he did it in Harlem last night.
Oh, wow.
And a couple of people that I follow on Instagram, actually, I guess, were there. I didn't really ask them about it, but the album's not out, so I don't know what it was all about.
He hasn't really given an official release date. Apparently, he's just like going IMAX theaters and putting some sort of film out also. And Travis Scott album actually dropping October 4th. I heard about that, so I'm excited for that. He's definitely one of my favorite artists. I love Travis Scott, and DaBaby killing it right now.
That's a good album.
There was the album Kirk, named after his father. You know DaBaby, dude. Like last year at this time, he shot a guy in Walmart for self-defense. Like shot and killed a guy in Walmart, and was like all the charges were dropped. He said it was self-defense. Yeah, does not get a lot of. I feel like this story does not get a lot of love at all, and it's just an insane story. But wild. So just something that we've been thinking about over here. Some album releases, definitely into the rap game. So Sharmel, let's talk a little bit about our weekend. You and I had a little bit of an adventure. Actually, I did rather. I don't know if it was really an adventure for you. So I came to your gym. You were generous enough to give me one of your guest passes, one of the 2 guest passes that you get per year, right? Apparently,
those are growing trees, bro.
Yeah, and let's talk about this. As you know, I love my gym just because it's very convenient for me. It's around the corner, right. And I also love my gym for a lot of the other reasons that maybe your gym doesn't really stand up to my gym.
Oh,
dude.
really?
Like,
what's that?
Give
me some examples.
Okay, bro. I mean, we've got hand sanitizer wipes on the wall. We've got hand sanitizer on the wall. We don't have meatheads dropping weights, pounding the floor. Everyone's nice to each other. It's quiet. We don't hear a lot of groaning. I'm talking about, you know what I'm comparing this right now?
I'd love to hear
I'm not sure if our listeners and viewers understand what I'm comparing to right now, but I'm comparing Blink and Equinox right now, boys and girls. And I'm sticking up for Blink right here. My membership costs 1/10 of what this guy's membership is. I pay $25 annually, and this guy pays what?
We don't need to talk about how much we pay for it.
A lot. Well, I pay $25 a month. I'm happy to talk about how I pay that little amount of money per gym, and I'm satisfied with it. And there's such an Equinox craze, and I'm not about it, man. Tell me why you really love Equinox over here.
Humorous of you. Let me ask you a question. Does your gym have eucalyptus towels?
I mean, no, dude. My gym doesn't have eucalyptus towels. That's completely irrelevant.
Let me have a follow-up question. What about Kiehl's products? Does your gym have Kiehl's products?
All right, no.
Uh,
But who's really taking showers at the gym?
do you
should be
even
taking
have
showers at your house?
Do you
after
even
your
have
gym?
showers? Or are you just walking around in your own soil the whole time?
All right. Well, clearly, I'm not of a high class being
Yes, well-
a person who needs to go to Equinox.
When you're done being gauche, you can come to Equinox.
Gosh,
I'm
it
kidding,
comes up
guys.
again.
Bait
it
me.
comes up again.
Bait me into having this elitist conversation. Hey, I like Equinox. It's a great gym. A lot of. So this is how I do a lot of the classes there, and I justify it
Okay.
as okay. One, it's right next. It's a block from my apartment, whereas my other gym was like 8 blocks, and I know this is like a first world problem. But when it's cold and it's 2 degrees out, and I want to go to the gym, I don't want to walk 10 blocks.
Which
to go
is
to my
why
gym.
which is why I understand.
Right,
I go right around the corner
right.
to Blink, but it's also
Right.
a fantastic gym.
Yeah, it's fine. And then, but
no,
also,
it's not. What do you mean it's fine? The gym itself is fine, or you're saying
Yeah, it's
that's
okay.
fine?
no, it's all right.
It's
no,
terrific.
you like it's
I
good.
send you a video.
No,
the
yeah,
other
no,
day,
yeah,
dude.
it's really great.
Fresh
No,
face.
it's definitely really great. It's awesome. It's a great place for sure.
Good for me.
Yeah, no, it's awesome for sure, dude. But the hand sanitizer looks really luxe. So, what was I saying? Oh, classes. So I take a lot of classes. If you're gonna take, so a lot of people take like if you take 3 classes a month, and they're $30 each. I mean,
You're
that's
saying theoretically outside of Equinox.
oh, no,
you
sorry.
can-
Three classes a week.
Right.
Because if you're working out and you take like people take Switch Playground and Hit House and all those things, that's $30 3 times a week. That's $90 a week.
Okay.
That's almost $400 a month. That's double what I'm paying to go to Equinox, and I can take as many classes a day as I want. every day.
Touche. So for a guy that's a big class guy, like
And I'm even
you,
not really. I was never a big class guy until I got there. Until I joined Equinox, and it's like now I'm into the
Now it's
yoga and all
worth
that
it.
stuff.
Okay.
Now it's worth it.
Fair enough.
I'm
Fair
just-
enough.
yeah.
I still think it's a little bit of a scam with how much they're charging people, but whatever.
It's just the rent. I mean, a lot of them are like 3 stories. It's like there's people like the biggest thing also is we're talking way too much about this, but it's just always clean. Like when I went to New York Sports Club, it was
That
sorry,
place
I
is
don't want
gross.
to at them.
We'll just add them
Gross.
negatively.
There's just always people cleaning at Equinox. They're constantly cleaning.
I just don't see people
the locker
cleaning
room.
up after themselves at Equinox and Blink. That's all I see. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, because they don't need to clean up. They're paying a lot for. They don't have to clean up. They have people cleaning for you the whole
It's
time.
not, yeah, but it's not as consistent. All right, whatever. I think it's a scam. Let me bring up 3 other things that I think
We'll convert you.
are massive scams in this I don't should I say government? Yeah. You know what? Don't come after me, but I think this is known by now. 3 things that I think: college, buying a house, and alcohol. I think those 3 things are scams, dude. College, I think that they just giving you all this money for student loans, and then they won't even give you money for a business loan after you go to school to study these things. Scam right there. Buying a house, I feel like, is a big scam. People don't realize how much money you need to be putting in throughout the entire process.
Right.
And in order for you to pay off this house or refinance it, you have to live in it for 20 years. And who wants to live in the same freaking house on the same block for 20
totally-
years?
I agree. I mean,
it's not, dude, it's
Yeah.
not like 20 years as if you are super lucky and you're able to even
Yeah.
pay it back. It takes people at least 30
a lot of people
to
are on
35
30-year
years.
mortgages.
But it's just a crazy, it's a crazy concept that people are like, oh yeah, my parents just finally finished paying off the house. Like,
Yeah.
it just throughout the entire process, like how much money has been wasted throughout.
Yeah.
Just being at the same place. It's just not a moneymaker.
I think some people-
and people definitely have been brainwashed to think that it's a moneymaker, which is absolutely not.
People are tricked into thinking that like they're going to get some sort of equity at the end, which they are, but what are they going to sell it?
Yeah, and
when they're retired. I guess,
but even if they do sell it, dude, they
or
have
give
all
it to their
these fees
kids
after.
Yeah, that's true.
The third thing that is a big scam actually is alcohol. I'm gonna tell you why I think alcohol is a scam. Besides the fact that it's freaking poisonous, and I'd say 95% of the people that have ever drinking alcohol have gotten sick with alcohol. Maybe I'll use the air quotes sick, but like throwing up into the point where they feel like at the S word at the end of the night.
Come on, you could say.
Or I guess
You
I
can
can
say
say
it.
it.
It's
You
not
know,
that
they
bad.
put the E next to the podcast anyway. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
When you feel like shit the next morning, that's not supposed to happen. You know, you drink this thing, you get a
No,
little
it's true.
loose, whatever. I understand, but it's poison ultimately. And when Richard Nixon put marijuana on the substance 1 ban list.
Yep.
And he didn't put alcohol on the list either, but like he put marijuana on the
Schedule 1 narcotic.
Excuse me,
yeah.
Schedule 1 narcotic with heroin and cocaine. Like, bro, what are you talking about? And this is just in the late 60s when LSD was making a big rise and everyone was like, yo, dude, like we just need to love and chill. And Nixon felt like he had to do something about it. And then freaking a couple years later, this guy had to resign because he was such a scam artist himself, the whole Watergate scandal.
Yeah.
So we're still living in an age where pot has such a negative connotation around it, and the worst thing you could do is just fall asleep on your couch with like a bag of Cheetos in your freaking lap, as opposed to being passed out in the streets of Brooklyn and
I agree,
not have any idea where you are or whatever the situation is.
It's just the reason really is because alcohol has just been part of American economics for so long, like pre-prohibition,
right.
pre-Civil War. You know, alcohol has been a part of our economy and a big grower of our economy. So where marijuana wasn't, so they didn't really know how to market it, they didn't know how they were going to make money off of it, so they just
And there were a whole lot of political the controversy I feel like behind pot as a plant itself, or whatever it was, between Reefer Madness and other movies coming out in the early 1900s. I don't know how early that movie came out.
I have no idea.
Can you check that for me?
Sure.
Reefer Madness. I know that came out in the 1900s, just scaring people away from weed, saying that it makes you crazy. And in actuality, alcohol freaking makes you crazy and puts other people around you at danger. So I don't really F with alcohol.
I got a scam for you.
What?
Weddings.
Oh, that is
weddings
a good scam.
are such a huge
But who's
scam.
that? What company would that? I mean, like what?
Wedding planners, florists, DJs. It's just there's people who just make wedding invites for a living. It's all just like a big money making scam. It's you invite people so they can give you gifts, and then everyone's got to travel, everyone's got to wear a suit and like dress up and like waste your Saturday. Listen, I get it. Like I'm probably gonna have a wedding, but it's just one of those like social things that came along.
And also I'd say the ring, part of that
ring,
too.
Exactly,
the
ring.
Right?
These weird like social constructs where like a guy has to pay all this money to get a ring. It's like it's just odd to me. It's very strange.
Right.
It's just very
Definitely
outdated. I get it. I mean, I get it, but it's a scam for sure.
Definitely a capitalistic situation. But you have that information there.
One second.
Reefer Madness. 1936. Reefer Madness. But just movies like that constantly made pot look like the bad guy constantly, and it's not good. I really would love to have an argument or a conversation or a debate, whatever, on whether a person would really want their child to be drinking at a party or smoking pot at a party when they're 18 years old, underage for the most part.
Yeah.
But I seriously would like to have a conversation. But either way, those kids should not be doing either of those things. So this will bring us to our weekly segment. Charmel, give us a drum roll, please. What? That was pretty good. I didn't know you were going to give us that.
Yeah.
All right. The weekly segment, don't do that. I wanted to start off, I guess, this segment, kind of just something really sad. Not really that happy to be talking about this, but one of my childhood heroes, Aaron Carter, he's just not really been doing well.
Heard he got a
recently.
face tat.
Dude, that's what I wanted to. That's what I was about to get to.
Someone just told me that today.
He's been beefing with his brother Nick Carter, who's actually a member of the Backstreet Boys, and those two were like insanely famous kids for a very long time, and it looks like both of them are just on the verge of absolutely losing it if they haven't already. I remember watching like Lizzie McGuire, dude. You remember Lizzie McGuire?
Yeah.
Like back in the day. And
Hillary
Aaron
Duff.
Carter's like a few years older than me, and I had the biggest crush on Hillary Duff. And Aaron Carter was in this Christmas episode, and there was a mistletoe, and him and Lizzie McGuire were under the mistletoe, and they shared this kiss.
Oh, were you just
And
steamed about it?
Oh my God, I was so heated. And like Hillary Duff is just so cute, such a little like plump girl, but like a really just great. I mean, like what was that? I was probably 12. She was probably 16. I'd say pretty much one of my real first crushes. And Aaron Carter was such a freaking stud between all the songs. That's how I beat Shaq.
I was a big Aaron Carter fan. Who wasn't?
Aaron's party, which I can still recite word for
Yeah,
word. You
yeah,
don't have to
bops.
ask me to do that, but I'll do that for anyone who needs me to do that.
Certified bops for sure.
But yeah, dude, yes, as you said, he did get a face tat, and it's not just like a regular maybe tear under your eye
It's like
face
a Mike
tat.
Tyson situation.
Little Mike Tyson. It's worse than a Mike Tyson situation, man. If you want to look that up on your phone and give me an authentic reaction, but it's a fresh Medusa on his face, man. Like, it's a scary looking tattoo that you probably not expect Aaron Carter to have. But I'm wishing him the best because he's had FBI and feds come to his house a number of times within the last few months just because he has firearms and guns of all sorts, and it's just not a great situation. So don't do that. Do not put a tattoo like that on your
God.
face. You saw it? You looking at it?
Yikes.
Like, don't do that, man.
That's big.
I know. It's crazy. And also, like, you can't really go through life with having that on your face. If you're not going to, how long can you actually have a tattoo like that on your face and have a real career?
I don't know, man.
It's tough. All right, man. Give me yours. What you got for me?
I was thinking about this today, actually. So something that really makes me angry. Sorry, I'm moving the mic. When you say like "nice to meet you" to someone, and instead of saying "nice to meet you" or "nice to meet you back," they say "cheers" instead of "nice to meet you."
Well, is that implied? Do they have like a drink in their hand while this is happening?
No. You never heard someone say that?
No. I mean, not an American person. No.
Exactly. So when you're in America, but people say it like, are we in Manchester or are we in America?
Wait. So
you go up to
said,
someone
like,
and you
nice-
say, "Hey, nice to meet you," and they go, "Cheers." No. Don't. No.
Wait, what?
No.
Yeah, dude, we're not in Australia.
Yeah,
where the hell does this happen?
If you have a cool British accent, that's totally
Maybe
fine. Like,
that'll work. That's
all right, man.
fresh.
Cheers, like something like that.
Cheers. Yes.
Yeah, cheers, bruv.
Lovely, man.
All right, bruv. Eat beans for breakfast.
Watch a
Yeah.
soccer match
Something like that.
on TV.
In it, yeah, and
Yeah, then that's cool. if you
that's
have a British
fine. But
accent.
oh my god, there's this one kid in college that I lived with, and my dad was like helping me move in, and my dad like introduced himself, and he was like, "Hey, my dad's name's Pat too." He's like, "Hi, I'm Pat," and nice to meet you. And
you're a
okay.
junior?
No, I'm not a junior, but my dad's name's
Pat,
Patrick.
you say your dad's name is Patrick Charmel?
yeah.
So you're a junior?
No, a junior is when you have the same middle name and you have junior on the end of your name.
No,
Yes, it
dude.
is.
A junior
No.
is when you have the same name as
No.
your freaking dad.
No, it's when you have the same middle name and you put junior at the end of your. It's like,
So you don't have to have the same last name. You just have to have the same middle
be-
name, and then you're a junior.
I mean,
So
you're a
Ken-
junior
so
technically.
I'm not a freaking
Ken
junior.
Griffey
My
Ju-
dad, my
Ken
dad,
Griffey Jr.'s legal name is Ken Griffey Jr. My name is not Patrick Charmel Jr. It's
But wait, you have to make it legal in order
yes,
for you to be a junior.
And most of the time, they have the same middle name when you're considered a junior.
All right, I didn't know this. I'm pretty sure that I'm convinced you're a junior over here.
I'm not. I'm
Doesn't
sure
change
you're
my
not.
opinion about you though, bro.
Oh, is it a good or bad one?
No, I still think you're a great guy. All right, and
Thanks.
also, what's another thing? Like, dude, when I meet a girl for the first time, like, what do? Do you hug them or like do you do
say
a kiss on
cheers.
do you do a kiss on the cheek or do you
Oh.
hug or a handshake?
Yeah, I never know. I know like
There's like three
there's-
things. No. There's actually four because the kiss on the cheek is a two part. It's either you kiss on
Yeah.
the left side, the right side, or you do both. And that's like an
Oh no,
insane.
you definitely. That's another
situation.
European thing. You don't do that unless you're in
Double kiss. You don't do
right. Unless you're in
Right.
France.
unless you're exclusively in France.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're either when you're meeting a girl, you're either giving them a handshake,
I mean,
a hug,
if it's a very
kiss on the cheek, or
it's
double
u-
cheek.
It's usually it. If it's like if we're like at a party and friends of friends are introducing, they're like,
Uh-huh.
hey, like, and they kind of like put their arms out. Yeah, I'll give them a hug. But if it's like,
If you're
It's a
meeting someone
little-
at a party, though, I feel like that's a handshake kind of
no, it just
environment.
depends on like their. You can read their like the enthusiasm of like. Maybe it's like a friend that you've like a friend of a friend that you know through like you know about them but you haven't actually met them, then you can give them a hug or like. But if it's someone like you're just kind of really meeting out of the blue, especially like if it's a girl, I usually just give them a handshake. Nice firm handshake.
I think there's applicable times to do
Yeah.
the hug and the kiss on the cheek. I think the hug and the kiss on the cheek is like old, like warm friends seeing each other again. And when
Oh,
you're
for sure.
at a party, like I think it's handshakes exclusively, especially
Yeah,
with
yeah,
like
no,
the
I
stigma
agree.
behind
I
being
agree.
at parties and stuff. Like you're not really just trying to like hug everyone and kiss everyone on the
It depends.
cheek.
You got to read the situation.
Yeah, if you're going on a date, you're seeing a chick for the first time, chick walks in through the door, definitely hug or kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
But I'd say avoid the kiss on the double kiss on the cheek because like nobody really knows when you're going to go for that. So like that's awkward in general. If you go for the double kiss on the left and right, it could be very risky.
Well, I know I have a friend. Well, and I have. What about friends that you've known for a long time? Like
that you can go double on them.
Well, some like you just at that point
dip.
is it a hug or a kiss on the cheek? Because I have one
Kiss on the
friend
cheek.
of a girl who I know is a kiss on the cheek girl. She just does that.
Okay.
No, yeah. But some aren't. So I kind of know at this point what my like.
Dude, it's
hellos
just so
are like.
much easier to just see your bros, and you can just either
It's
you're
like,
either
what up, dude? Just
you're either
dap
just
me
worried
up,
about
bro.
like fist bump, dap, or a hug.
a little peck on the lips sometimes.
And you can or peck them on the lips, and you can do any of those four, and I think it'd be considered totally fine, dude. You know what's great, which I was just actually thinking about, random thought. I went to get some of this delicious seltzer over here. We don't have a seltzer sponsor yet, so if anybody who makes seltzer wants to get in on here, we'll drink your seltzer. We're big seltzer guys. Charmel's got a can of seltzer in his hand, but I'm not going to dare tell you what company that is because we're not giving out any free sponsorships. Ted Jones World on Instagram, tedjonesworld@gmail.com. Let us know if you'd like to be on the show in any way, shape, or form. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. My refrigerator, I sometimes just keep the refrigerator open. I'm the kind of guy who goes back to the refrigerator like 7 or 8 times within an hour span just to see if anything else shows up in there.
You keep the refrigerator open?
No, but dude, this is the greatest part about my refrigerators. One, I don't really even mean to leave it open.
Okay.
But there comes some point where I'll go in there, rummage through some stuff, and I'll take out a yogurt. I'll take the top off the yogurt and I'll put it away.
As one does.
And then so I'll slurp down the yogurt. Chomp. I can't chomp anymore because my mouth is still messed up. By the way, if you haven't been able to tell, I'm sorry I didn't announce it for the freaking 6th time in 6 episodes because I got to keep telling you guys that my face is messed up if you can't tell. But anyway, it's getting better. So I have yogurt, and then I don't intentionally leave that fridge open. But one thing that is great, man, and I've seen a lot of fridges, I feel like not having the ding on your fridge is a blessing in disguise.
What do you mean?
The amount of times I've gone back to the couch and I've been thinking about how I want something in the fridge and how I don't want to have to go back up there and open it and look through it and rummage it and then close it and open it and close it. I just keep it open. You know the thing when you keep your refrigerator open and it goes ding.
No.
Ding.
No.
Ding. You never heard that?
No.
Like this is you
got some
that's like a pretty No. This is a pretty solid refrigerator
new wave
here.
fridge.
This is definitely like the last General Electric model they put out that didn't have the sensor on it. So I always keep it a little bit open, but that's weird, man.
Why you keep it a little bit open on purpose?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's so
Not
weird.
only when I'm like sitting on my couch.
First of all, you're the one always talking about saving the planet. So
you know
you're just
what?
wasting energy.
You are absolutely right, and that's something I am not doing well. And something I wanted to also discuss was Greta Thunberg, 16-year-old climate change activist, went to the UN this past week and shunned a number of the people sitting on the UN board, and she really stuck it to them and said that we need to do a much better job in protecting our planet. It was actually quite moving to hear this girl speak at such a high place in the world today. And I would suggest you to Google her if you have not heard of her. Greta Thunberg, 16-year-old from Sweden, a climate change activist. But yeah, very moving. Anyway, and I saw something. Speaking of cultured kind of vibes, I wanted to talk about entertainment. J-Lo and Shakira will be performing at the Super Bowl. How do you feel about that duo, Pat?
It's a good duo.
Are you a fan?
It's a good duo. I mean, the Super Bowl halftime shows are like pretty hit or miss. So
do you think
I don't really expect much of any of them.
Do you think that this was a Jay-Z move, or was this kind of standard that like these two women would be performing at the Super Bowl?
What do you mean? Is it a Jay-Z
I mean, like
move?
Jay-Z getting involved more closely with the NFL now towards the halftime show and stuff like that.
Probably not.
I'd say those are like two pretty standard performances. I'm not like
for sure.
super
Shakira,
impressed.
I don't really. I mean,
yeah,
Shakira's
Shakira's
kind of a
little
one-hit
old
wonder,
news.
really, isn't she? I mean,
What was the song again?
Yeah. Like, she had like that one album is what she's famous for. I mean, I guess she had a little more, but she's not even close to J-Lo.
I think Shakira's got some
maybe
racks
over
in the
maybe
bank,
in where's she
though.
from? Colombia? Or, not Colombia. Yeah, is it Colombia?
One of those Spanish companies.
I think she's from Colombia, so she's probably pretty big there. But I don't know. It's just like
Grande,
really, Shakira at this
grande
point.
in Colombia.
Like, why not have had her when she was, when her first album, when she was like really famous? Why not? Why have her now?
Well, that was also like a situation when Missy Elliott performed the other year. That was kind of like a little bit random. Like, why is Missy Elliott performing 10 years past her prime?
Is that like maybe they've always done that. Maybe it's like
trying to get people like past their prime. And, like,
just
save
kind
a
of
little bit of cash.
maybe
Even though they're spending like $5 million per performer. Anyway, they're just looking to get those ratings. All right, so speaking about getting ratings, Netflix show Making of a Murderer. You ever watched the show, Charmel?
Oh, yeah. I knew he was innocent the whole time.
This is Stephen Avery, who initially got locked up in Manitowoc County and was he was in jail for a number of years and was found innocent after an investigation was done. Then he was put back in jail, and he was saying that he's innocent again. And somebody just came out in jail and said that he was actually the one who murdered Teresa Halbach, who Stephen Avery is in jail for the second time for murdering Teresa Halbach. So do you think this guy's, by the way, this guy who's in jail who admitted supposedly to murdering Teresa Halbach has got like a life sentence? So is this guy pulling our legs?
Yeah, he's bullshitting for sure.
You think so?
Sorry to swear.
So Stephen Avery's not getting out of jail?
No,
Stephen Avery,
chance. There's no chance he did. Like, first of all, I got to say that's one of my favorite documentaries ever. It's so good.
Yeah.
But I mean, regardless of the cop, I don't want to go through the whole thing, but the cops obviously like tampered with they were like trying to screw him over. But regardless, either him or someone in his family, someone on that property killed her. Like, obviously. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right. And I also think, like, not to be biased at all, but this documentary just being fully all about him and not really seeing any of the other side. Now, in terms of the police department covering up the whole first crime, we see that very vividly, and it's pretty apparent that they did cover up the crime initially to make it seem like Stephen Avery did commit this horrible act. Yeah. What was the first crime that he committed?
What?
What was the first thing that they had said that he committed? It was another murder.
No, it was a rape.
I
think there was definitely rape. Maybe it was a rape murder, but it was definitely a rape. I don't think it was a murder.
In the first, that was his first charge.
Yeah.
They said that wasn't even terrible. But anyway, we'll see if this actually comes to light and this is the truth. Also, so Sarah Thomas, I'm not sure if you've heard of this woman. Just 1 year after completing breast cancer treatment, she swam across the English Channel 4 times. Charmel, she swam for 54 straight hours 1 year after completing her breast cancer treatment. I'm not 100% sure what really made her go forth and do this, but she'd said that it was for breast cancer awareness. And just a crazy feat to be swimming in freezing waters for 54 hours straight. Yeah, just really nuts. Power to Sarah Thomas. So we'll just end it here, I guess, talking about my diet a little bit more. People want to know what I've been eating. I think I'm slowly starting to eat normal foods, man. I'm getting excited.
Yeah?
So,
I can't wait to do our Popeyes versus
Chick-fil-A. It's coming up soon, man. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Let me see. Getting there.
Home.
Yeah, no, you're definitely getting there.
I have some movement. For sure, some movement.
Yeah, no, you're definitely. Yeah,
but also, chin is still numb. But we'll get there. Hopefully, you guys didn't think this was too much of an expletive podcast. We hope you and Grandma enjoyed, and we're gonna keep it PG-13 usually as we do. Rate, subscribe, comment. Let's get some views up on this podcast, eh? All right, let's get a sponsor going here too. Give us some feedback. Ted Jones World on Instagram. We can give Pat Charmel some love on his Instagram. Why don't you guys DM him also? Pat Charmel on Instagram.
It's Pat M. Charmel, CHARMEL.
Beautiful. Ted Jones World on Instagram, as I said, tedjonesworld@gmail.com. And I'm going to leave you with an inspirational quote. I forgot to do it last week, but I remember to do it this week, so I'm going to freaking give it to you. If people talk negatively behind your back, let them. They're behind your back for a reason.
It's beautiful.
You like that one?
I actually do like that, yeah.
Thank you for listening to episode 6. Again, rate, subscribe, a comment, and we will have Giulio Gallerati, famous New York City comedian. Guy's been doing comedy in New York for freaking years. He's going to tell us the ins and outs of his nightly and daily schedule, kind of what he does to prepare for his nightly sets, and a whole bunch of other stuff. The guy keeps good company. So we'll see you for episode 7. Peace. Peace. Peace.